I'm sick of this!
You hold this. You're the one supposed to hold it. So yeah, we were supposed to have some music on and then so it doesn't work apparently. Okay. Yeah. So imagine us dancing now.
You get the idea.
And as a matter of fact, there was a part of that song that said TEDxYouth, and we were going to like TED.
So who knows the song Humble? Raise their hands. Exactly. It's that great applause that every on that TED song. Hey! You know this. Okay.
This is what it looks like to be a teenager. Or at least that's what they say.
The interesting thing about they say is that they are never teenagers. They might be psychologists, they might be doctors, teachers, parents, counselors.
But they definitely are not teenagers. They're adults.
No, me and Irina have been laughing on and on at adults downplaying teenagehood. That was until we realized it wasn't funny. It was rather problematic.
Take advantage of your teenagers because life doesn't always hard. A tutor said that.
You don't know what problems are, you don't even have bills to pay. That's my dad. The only way it seems that people manage to make adolescence sound like a piece of cake is when they're comparing it to adulthood. But that's not how it works. Might as well compare, it doesn't work. Might as well compare polar bears with bananas, just imagine them two together. It doesn't make any sense. Basically, being a teenager is so easy. Any teenager present in this room that agrees with that statement, please raise your hand.
Exactly. And that goes even further. People keep talking and writing about us as if we were all one and the same. Labels over labels and patterns over patterns of what they say is mutual behavior. Is that really what we are? Generation Z, the millennials, post-millennials, I don't know, the individualists.
Wait, do we say those?
No. If we wanted someone to comment upon a soccer game, we called for a soccer expert.
If we wanted to know whether it was going to rain tomorrow or not, we turned to weather experts. So why is it that during this entire time, we have never been asked what it's like to be a teenager?
And wouldn't it all make more sense if we did tell our own story? Now, the question, what does it mean to be a teenager? It cries for experts.
And that's why we're here, to give you zero answers. As a matter of fact, we're still figuring that part out ourselves.
Besides, this question doesn't need answering. It needs context. Simon Sinek has a book on leadership. It's called Start With Why. It basically implies that having a clear sense of why you do what you do is crucial to any business. And according to him, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
His approach regards business. Ours is slightly different. It regards life.
People don't buy into teenagers because of what they do. They buy into teenagers because of why they do it.
Tomato, tomato.
You see, teenagers tend to have that why. It's just that nobody ever bothered to notice.
Do you know why we're on this stage?
Because we wanted to.
And why do we want to?
One word.
Passion.
Feeling of being on stage. Sending a message that is indeed worth spreading. Making an impact on people. Changing our world for the better.
Speech by speech, step by step. Then we asked ourselves whether we were able to make a difference or not, no matter how small. We're just a couple of teenagers after all. But that was silly of us. For you see, being a teenager works for you, not against you.
And this constant why that we're asking ourselves every day. Why is this happening? Why am I doing this? Why am I here? Why do I like this and why don't I like that? It's part of ourselves.
It gives us a sense of purpose. It gives us direction. It puts a smile on our faces.
Embrace that.
And it's okay not to have answers to every why that comes to mind. But what's even more okay is to keep the why going. And that's what we do.
I personally don't find it that frustrating. I find it beautiful. Besides, nobody expects you to know everything.
Well, they might. But that's their problem. You certainly know one thing. Doing something just because you want to is a good enough reason.
So, yes, we ask questions, and a lot of them. And while we wait for answers, new questions pop up. Because at this age, our minds look something like this. I'm quite stable right now. I'm just doing my business and minding my own thing. Y'all came out of me, king. Wait, what? Well, whatever. And the heart of a teenager, oh, don't start.
Hey!
And they say it's easy. Well, guess what? It's not easy having to face a spiraling funnel-shaped vortex tornado inside of you every day, or whatever he's got going on. But it works. Somehow, it all seamlessly works. Yet it is very hard to put into words. How do you explain something spontaneous? Something unpredictable? You see, trying to explain whatever we have going on inside of us is nearly impossible. And as a matter of fact, that's not just a common opinion. That's pure biology. See, we're now talking about that part of ourselves that deals with emotions. And that part of ourselves is called the limbic brain. And the main fact about the limbic brain is that it simply cannot put emotions into words. Basically, it's enough for us to know that something just feels right or that it just feels wrong.
But then, when it does feel right, what happens? Well, we become superheroes. While Superman can fly, while Spider-Man shoots webs and Thor plays with lightning, we're young. That's our thing. We're good at being young. And thanks to that, we have a superpower of our own. It's called drive. It's not that type of drive. It's the drive within. It's going out in the world head first. It's doing anything we set our minds to. No doubts, no second thoughts. Being a teenager. Being a teenager is the biggest advantage you'll ever have. You know why? Because if we were to put ourselves on a scale, we wouldn't be children. We hate being called children. But we wouldn't be adults either. We'd be somewhere in between. We've only lived 20.7% of our lives.
Whoa, wait. How did you do that?
It's math. Adults have been trying to teach it to us for centuries. If you take the average life expectancy in Europe at least, that's of 82 years. You're 17, correct?
That is correct.
If you use the 3 simple rule, you'll find that 17 is 20.7% of 82. That's not even a quarter of what life has to offer. Which means that we've barely got a sense of what life tastes like. That means we're not scared. We're not scared of disappointment. We're not scared of failure. We're not scared of the odds. And that's dangerous, because we're willing to try what nobody else is. I like delivering speeches.
And I like public speaking.
You know what? We should do a TED Talk together. What's the worst that could happen?
Well, let's see. I can mess up the words.
Okay.
The presentation might, you actually already did so. The presentation might stop working.
God forbid.
The lights could cut out. See?
See?
An earthquake, which
Okay.
could lead to a gas leak, which could set the entire building on fire.
Okay. But then why are we still doing it?
Because it would be more challenging not to. Because we're teenagers. What could possibly go wrong is our motto.
So we talked about how important it is to keep asking questions, even if you won't get instant answers. We've also touched upon the part of ourselves that would do almost anything in order to achieve something. Because, and I believe you can all agree with this, the energy that a teenager has is completely irreplaceable.
You can feel the hope. You can feel the enthusiasm. You can feel the drama. Even now with so many people our age in music. I mean, wow, you can feel the vibes. At least I do. I feel like I'm at a music festival or something. Hey, do you not feel the vibes?
Oh yeah, totally. Oh yeah, totally.
Well, what about you? Are you feeling this?
So, we've talked about all
And
these.
then comes that moment when someone asks, hey, what do you want to do with your life? What are your plans for the future? What do you want to be when you grow up?
By 2020, I will have started studying a computer science undergrad program at Stanford University in the United States of America. I will have finished with full honors by the time I'm 23. I will apply to Microsoft for a project manager position, but after 2 months of hard work, I will be so loved by my boss that I will get an even bigger promotion. 99% sure of that. At that moment in time, I will meet the love of my life, Gertrude. And with whom I am going to undoubtedly have twins, Mark and Jacob. At 65 years of age, I will retire and I will live the rest of my happy, fulfilled life alongside my family and the latest addition, my dog, Lizzie. You laugh now, but if my answer had been, I don't know, every single adult in this room would have been, 17 years on this earth, 11 of school, and this kid still doesn't know squat. I don't know about you, but she would have killed me.
You see, we've never had it all figured out. And we never will. Honestly, we never will. And if anybody thinks they do, please, think again. And please, keep looking. Not for the big bright future, because that is yet to come at its own pace. But for your passion, your love, your courage, your goals, your dreams, your happiness, yourself. Keep looking. And know your worth, because at the end of the day, you are your own. And I promise you, this is the last time I'm quoting adults. This is the last time I'm quoting adults, really. They say that we are the future. And we are the future indeed. Yes, we are the future. They say that we will lead the world. And we will lead the world one day, as scary as that may sound. But what they never say is that we are the ones preparing ourselves for it through every little thing that we do, now, in the present, as teenagers.
What we're saying is that we're not that bad. Yes, we might have a small issue with Instagram. Yes, we might have slightly less patience than everybody else. Yes, there are a lot of things we could work on, that we could work on, and we are.
The thing is, we reached a means of instant communication worldwide for the first time in history. And while that is bettering our lives to an extent we can't even imagine, because think about it, I can literally take out my phone and call whoever I want, regardless of where they might be, regardless. So while that is bettering our lives to an extent we can't even imagine, it also has its downside, because news, opinions, gossip, they spread fast.
As a result of that, we're the flawed generation that can be discussed and criticized and put under a microscope worldwide for the first time in history. But we're not complaining. Really, we are not complaining. Because if there's anything that we learned while being talked about worldwide, is this. Yes, we have good sides, and yes, we have bad sides. we are indeed flawed. It's awesome to be flawed, because it's awesome to be human.
We know that during this presentation, this speech, whatever you want to call it, we threw you all over the place. We went from whys to questions to generations to driving. Honestly, none of them have anything to do with one another. But this is the process, this is exactly the process that we set out to do today.
So this entire roller coaster, from when we went up the stage until now, has been the very means of showing you what it's like to be a teenager. It's being all over the place. But that's wonderful, because we get to see the world.